Professional wrestling has always thrived on compelling rivalries that captivate audiences. Here are the top 10 professional wrestling rivalries of all time. In the storied histories of the NWA and WCW, the late 1980s and early 1990s produced countless unforgettable rivalries. One such is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Their iconic feud kicked off in February 1989 at NWA Chi-Town Rumble, where the two delivered a wrestling masterclass that ended with Steamboat capturing the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. This victory sparked a program that would captivate fans for months. Portrayed as a humble, family-oriented champion finally reaching the mountaintop, Steamboat stood in stark contrast to Flair's flamboyant, arrogant, and ever-confident persona, desperate to reclaim his gold. The rematch at NWA Clash of Championships in March 1989 was another classic, earning Wrestling Observer's Match of the Year honors, with Steamboat once again emerging victorious. The trilogy concluded at NWA Wrestle War in 1989, where Flair regained the championship, and a bout recognized by Pro Wrestling Illustrated as 1989's Match of the Year. Though the rivalry cooled after Wrestle War, the story wasn't finished. Steamboat and Flair rekindled in their in-ring magic in 1994 under the WCW banner, producing yet another run of critically acclaimed matches. Nearly 3 decades later, the wrestling world almost saw them face off one last time in 2022 for Ric Flair's retirement match, though Ricky Steamboat ultimately declined the offer, leaving fans to cherish the classics that they already had shared. Number 9 is Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. Their rivalry began in 2002 and 2003 during a fight for the WWE Undisputed Championship, culminating in a Biker's Chain match at No Mercy 2003. After that, they wouldn't meet one-on-one again for over a decade, until WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. On that night in 2014, Brock Lesnar shocked the world by cleanly pinning The Undertaker, ending his legendary 21-0 undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Fueled by pride and determination, The Undertaker sought revenge in 2015. He defeated Lesnar at SummerSlam in controversial fashion, only to fall to him 2 months later inside Hell in a Cell. While the early 2000s clashes were memorable, it was their 2015 feud that earned Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Feud of the Year award. The storyline reignited The Undertaker's fire after the streak had ended, and it launched Lesnar into a dominant championship run, and delivered WWE's most intense rivalry in modern history. Number 8 is John Cena and Randy Orton. While they had crossed paths in tag team matches and occasional single matches before, the true rivalry began in 2007 when they clashed over a series of WWE Championship matches. Unfortunately, John Cena's run was cut short by injury, forcing the feud to be paused for several months. The setback didn't keep John Cena down for long. In a shocking moment at the 2008 Royal Rumble, he returned ahead of schedule, targeting a more aggressive, sinister Randy Orton on the road to WrestleMania. Although the two drifted apart afterwards, 2009 reignited the rivalry in full force. That year they headlined the major pay-per-views, including Night of Champions, SummerSlam, and Breaking Point, in what many consider the peak of their feud. As the 2010s progressed, John Cena and Randy Orton matches became less frequent, making their earlier clashes even more iconic. The rivalry cemented both men as top-tier stars. Cena's remarkable comeback and consistent performances solidified his place as the face of WWE, while Randy Orton's transformation into the cold, calculating apex predator made him the perfect antagonist. By the mid-1990s, the WWF was struggling, but then came the Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart feud. Both were masters in the ring, and their real-life animosity only added fire to their on-screen rivalry. Once close friends, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels showed their relationship unravel around 1996. A mix of competitive pride, Michaels' growing arrogance, and backstage controversies drove a wedge between them. They didn't wrestle each other often, but when they did, it was intense and unrelenting. The Iron Man match at WrestleMania remains a classic, and their bout at Survivor Series, controversial ending and all, was gripping from start to finish. Unfortunately, the infamous Montreal Screwjob abruptly cut short their on-screen feud. Years later, time would heal old wounds. On the January 4, 2010 episode of Raw, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels publicly buried the hatchet, closing one of wrestling's most heated chapters. Still, the legacy of their rivalry, both inside and outside of the ring, lives on. In October 1987, Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan formed a tag team called the Mega Powers. With Savage's real-life manager Miss Elizabeth by their side, the duo dominated the WWF landscape throughout 1987 and 1988. Randy Savage even captured his first ever WWF Championship at WrestleMania during this run. But as dominant as they were, this Dream Alliance was destined to implode, leading to one of the most iconic rivalries of its era. As they toppled names like Andre the Giant, the Big Boss Man, and Ted DiBiase, cracks began to form. Randy Savage grew increasingly suspicious of Hulk Hogan's close interactions with Elizabeth, and jealousy soon consumed him. The breaking point came at the main event in February 1989, when Randy Savage attacked Hulk Hogan, officially ending the Mega Powers. The confrontation reached its peak at WrestleMania 5, where Hogan defeated Randy Savage to claim the WWF Championship. The feud continued through the rest of 1989 and into 1990, with the two crossing paths repeatedly. Years later, the rivalry spilled over into WCW during the late 1990s, though it never quite matched the intensity of their WWF battles, especially the one at WrestleMania. Outside of the ring, their personal relationship was famously complicated, but inside the ring, they delivered unforgettable drama and entertainment. The Undertaker and Kane crafted one of the most intense and compelling rivalries in wrestling history. These matches were electrifying, leveraging off the sheer power of the Phenom and the Big Red Machine to deliver drama and destruction. Their first in-ring match came at WrestleMania. It was explosive. Undertaker scored the win after delivering 3 tombstone piledrivers. He followed that with yet another groundbreaking contest, the inaugural Inferno match at Unforgiven 1998, where the flames engulfed the ring and Kane's arm was literally set on fire before the Phenom emerged victorious. The feud reignited at WrestleMania 20 in 2004, where Undertaker once again defeated his half-brother in a tense showdown that extended his WrestleMania win streak. The rivalry continued to burn long into the next decade. In 2010, tensions peaked with a violent no-holds-barred match at Night of Champions, where Kane retained the World Heavyweight Championship in a brutal battle. They then faced off in a Buried Alive match at Bragging Rights, where Kane, with the help from Nexus, buried Undertaker under a mountain of dirt to end the feud. Literally. Triple H and The Rock's rivalry is one of the most storied in WWE history. Their feud began in the late 1990s, with both men vying for supremacy in the company. They faced off in numerous memorable matches, including the 1998 ladder match at SummerSlam and the 2000 Iron Man match at Judgment Day. Their rivalry was marked by intense competition and mutual respect, with both men helping to define the Attitude Era of the WWE. CM Punk and John Cena's rivalry was one of the most compelling of the 2010s. Their feud began in 2011, with CM Punk's pipe bomb promo igniting a firestorm of controversy and interest. They faced off in several high-profile matches, including 2011 Money in the Bank match, which is often cited as one of the best in WWE's history. The rivalry was marked by a clash of ideologies, with Punk's anti-establishment persona contrasting Cena's never give up attitude. The rivalry between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock is a cornerstone of WWE's Attitude Era. Their first major encounter took place at WrestleMania in 1999, with Austin defeating The Rock for the WWE Championship. They would go on to have 2 more WrestleMania matches, each escalating in intensity and stakes. Their rivalry helped propel WWE into new heights of popularity and is remembered as one of the greatest in wrestling history. The rivalry between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon stands as the most iconic in professional wrestling history, transcending the ring to become a cultural phenomenon. Their feud was not merely a series of matches, but a compelling narrative that captivated audiences and played a pivotal role in the success of WWE's Attitude Era. It began in 1998 when Stone Cold Steve Austin, the rebellious anti-hero, clashed with Vince McMahon, the embodiment of corporate authority. Their animosity led to unforgettable moments, such as Austin driving a Zamboni to the ring to confront McMahon, and the infamous beer truck incident, where Stone Cold soaked Vince McMahon, his son Shane, and The Rock with beer. These segments were not only entertaining, but also symbolic of the larger battle between the working class and corporate elitism. Their feud reached its peak at WrestleMania 17 in 2001, where Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon formed an alliance. Even years later, their animosity resurfaced, notably at WrestleMania 38, where Stone Cold Steve Austin delivered a stunner to McMahon, proving that their feud has left an incredible mark on the WWE's history. The Austin-McMahon saga is a testament to the power of storytelling in wrestling, blending drama, action, and character development to create a rivalry that will be remembered for generations.